So, for old time's sake, I went through a box down there of figures that I desperately need to sell, and dug up this guy and this guy. The anime heroes, I think the line is called. Goku and the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse New 52 Superman, I believe. I believe this is New 52. It's either New 52 or it's Rebirth. Could be wrong. Hey everyone, Brobuscus here, and welcome back to another Let's Watch of Death Battle. Today's episode, oh my god. We've got quite the match today. We got Goku from Dragon Ball versus Superman from DC. The legend has returned. The legendary match has returned. Oh god. But okay, of course, before we get into it, of course, there should be a link in the description below. Go watch the actual episode yourself. I can English, I swear. Go support the official release before watching some random guy on YouTube react to it, okay? Got it? Cool. Real quick before we get into it, I'm gonna test out these audio settings for a little bit. I didn't realize how quiet I was on the podcast until I was editing it. So I'm gonna turn this up a little bit. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll make some adjustments to it during the finale, whatever the hell that is. I guess we'll find out today, now won't we? So okay. Got Goku versus Superman. The long-awaited return, the long-awaited rematch, the true rematch, because as Ben himself will tell you, Goku versus Superman 2 just kind of doesn't count. So I think I've gone over my histories on both Dragon Ball and DC in previous reaction videos. I guess I did it on podcasts too. All I will really say is that I do like both Goku and Superman as characters. Goku less so nowadays, like with Super. But even then, even Super has his moments. But I just kind of prefer like pre-Super Dragon Ball, like like Battle of Gods and Resurrection of F were kind of meant to be like Z movies, and I like those a lot. So anything like from then and before that, that's where I could say I'm a fan of Dragon Ball. Everything after that is just kind of a case-by-case thing. And with Superman in particular, he's bloody Superman. Admit to not having read a lot of comics from him, but I have played a good handful of video games that he's in, and have seen a handful of movies that he's in. I did watch Superman versus the Elite during the lead up to this episode, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I can safely say that I like both of these characters a fair amount. But man, I gotta tell you, it is surreal to see this one happen, because I remember seeing the original one announced as the next time. I was a fan of Death Battle before the first Goku vs Superman came out, and I saw all the top 10 most wanted videos. I saw all the other videos from the community asking like, hey, do Goku versus Superman, and lo and behold, it was there. So it is very surreal to go from that to this, and the journey from that point to now. But at long last, hopefully, Goku versus Superman will. The debate won't be over, but hopefully this is like this is the one last time. This is the last hoorah for Goku and Superman fighting each other, and maybe in the future, maybe they'll be paired up against someone else for a change. That would be a twist. I say all that. I am pretty excited for this. I went from like acceptance over the match happening / confusion over it not being the finale to, okay, I'm actually kind of excited for this. So I'm just gonna jump straight into it. So who do I want to win? Who do I think is going to win? It is Superman on both fronts. I want him to win just because in general, I like him more, and I've just got more experience with him. I've heard of him before. I've seen Superman material before I knew what a Dragon Ball was. So yeah, just in general, I just prefer Superman over Goku. I think he's going to win because in general, he just seems stronger, faster, tougher, more experienced, smarter. Like, he has like pretty much every advantage I can think of. I am aware that for this battle they are going with like they're dipping their toes into like Dragon Ball Heroes and whatnot. I don't think it's gonna be enough. I think it's interesting, but I don't think it's enough to save him. I don't think it's enough to save Goku. Especially since, like, with stuff like Rebirth, Convergence, Infinite Frontier, it kind of just, like, canonizes all of DC's comic media. Which goes back to, like, pre-Crisis Superman and whatnot. So, yeah, I really don't see how Goku is winning this, just from everything I have heard on both. But if he does, I would be very surprised. So let's just shut up, jump right in, watch the rematch of the ages.
This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by BetterHelp.
Fight!
Okay.
Son Goku,
Superman.
it's time to answer the ultimate question, and we're taking it all into play.
We're examining Superman's extensive mainline comic book canon. Given Dragon Ball Super's contentious continuities, we'll include all three, just to be thorough, plus Dragon Ball Heroes.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
God, the fight looks so good.
Far away,
All
in
right,
an enchanted
Goku, let's
land,
see what you got.
an old master found a boy and marveled at his uncommon strength. This is the story of Son Goku.
Chances are, if you've watched some localized anime, you can thank this guy.
Inspired
True.
by martial arts films and his wife's interest in Chinese culture, Akira Toriyama crafted
And,
the story and the character that would define
And
generations
Journey
to
to the
come.
West.
Dragon Ball! Kakarot was born a low-class Saiyan on the planet Vegeta, narrowly escaped its destruction by Frieza, and was raised on Earth by happy old Grandpa Gohan.
Not just raised, but
Oh
trained.
my God.
Gohan began Goku's teachings in martial arts, which he would find
Not a
to be
bad
his
dad.
true
You guys are
calling
just
under
mean.
The guidance of Master Roshi. Specifically, he learned the
Memes.
Kame-sen and Ryu style, which focuses on discipline and tenacity, both of which strongly define Goku's character.
The more he learned, the more he wanted to improve. This little low-class monkey boy would prove that hard work and dedication can beat raw talent. Within just a few years, he was so strong, the only worthy teachers left were gods. And a talking cat, but mostly
gods.
When you're training to
I
dodge
love that
lightning,
line.
you know you're a few leagues over everyone else.
He did have a slight advantage. Saiyans are naturally superhuman. They also take Nietzsche's famous words, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger," very, very literally.
Very
it's almost
literally.
unfair how much of a boost in power they get after they're hurt.
While Saiyans like Vegeta may have abused this trait, it suits Goku. No matter how many times you knock him down, he will get back up, stronger than before.
It helps that he knows so many cool combat moves, like the Kamehameha.
An incredibly powerful technique that focuses one's ki into a single point for a devastating beam.
So challenging, it took Roshi decades to master, but Goku got it in like 5 seconds.
It's
Damn.
incredibly versatile, with over 50 different variations. For
Hi.
example, Goku can curve the beam after
Volcano
firing, or
Blade.
even shoot it from his feet.
But
Okay.
unlike most Saiyans, he
Autonomous
doesn't
Ultra
just
Instinct.
use ki to blow shit up. Moves like
Oh
the
God,
Solar
there's more.
Flare, Energy Landmine, and God Bind require a lot more strategy and planning.
Because while Goku isn't exactly book smart, he is a genius when it comes to martial arts. He doesn't
Mm-hmm.
just train to conquer his opponents, but to conquer himself.
He's also got
Yep.
some different moves, like trapping you in a rice cooker.
Well, pretty much any container could be used for the Mothaba sealing technique.
Then there's Kaioken, aka instant steroids. Goku's multiplied his power by 20 with it before, and in a movie, he even got it up to times 100. What a badass!
Oh, really?
The Genki Dama, or Spirit Bomb, is potentially his strongest attack, but it requires considerable time. Unlike instant transmission, which is a teleport that's instant. The way it works is Goku detects another person, like a sort of beacon, then teleports to their location by launching himself through an alternate dimension where time stands still. Yes, according to the Daisenshuu guidebook, it's a dimension hop. You can actually see this in between spaces in movies and games.
And the dubs wanted us to think it shot Goku's molecules around at light speed. Silly English.
The dubs did more than that. In fact, early dubs of Dragon Ball Z tried to rewrite Goku as a Superman figure. Even his famous speech on Namek about being the light in the darkness was originally about him coming to terms with his Saiyan heritage, accepting his anger and pride, avenging his people by defeating Frieza, and declaring himself the Super Saiyan.
Hell yeah! If there's any scene that deserves the word epic, it's when he went gold. Super Saiyan and its sequels all have official power multipliers, but they threw us for a loop by turning Goku into a god.
Super Saiyan God certainly changed things up. Goku gained Divine Ki, a pure form of Ki unspoiled by mortal hands. Unlike normal Ki, it can't be detected and appears to have healing properties.
Kinda like Senzu beans. Did you know one Senzu has so much healing juice it can regenerate a person's lost limbs? They're missing out.
God Goku reached a level of power that could compete with the greatest of deities, nearly shattering the whole universe with a single clash on his first go. Dragon Ball's cosmology is unique. This model is said to be an accurate depiction of Universe 7, but there's a wrinkle there. When all of humanity went to heaven,
because Boo went boozerk.
Videl commented that heaven is just as large as a universe, and the Daisenshuu backs her up.
And that's heaven. Big planet.
So let's scale things up with that in mind. Doing so would make Universe 7 over 1,500 times larger than our own observable universe.
And Goku could destroy that much the first time he went God. And he didn't lose that power. He learned how to use it even better, even in base form. Now, imagine how much stronger he became when he stacked Super Saiyan on Super Saiyan God and became Super Saiyan Blue.
Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan.
Yeah, not saying that. Or he trained with some almighty angels. Or when he perfected the blue hairdo and stacked Kaioken on top of that.
Goku has certainly performed great feats with God Ki, breaking through his time stop by forcing himself into the future, holding off Infinite Zamasu, who was a sentient timeline, defeating Jiren, who shook the entire world of Void by just walking.
He even tried out Hakai, the destruction god move that nopes you out of existence. Your being and your soul erased from all of time and space.
Culminating in his greatest form, Ultra Instinct.
Chrome Goku isn't a normal transformation, it's a state of mind. Ultra Instinct is the highest peak of martial arts, subconsciously making optimal choices because you're in the zone. Doing without thinking.
Something Goku has always been trained to do. Technically, it can be used in any form, but when perfected, Autonomous Ultra Instinct makes you untouchable. No matter what comes his way, Goku will automatically dodge, block, and counter to the best of his ability, even pushing his body well beyond his physical limits. So far beyond, in fact, Ultra Instinct can summon a massive avatar to defend him when his own body can't.
That sounds really intense.
It is, which is why he's developed incremental versions of it for specific uses. It's extremely difficult to maintain the full form for long.
Until you get to Dragon Ball Heroes.
Oh
AKA
boy.
Dragon Ball fanfiction gone Kaioken times 1,000.
While technically a different continuity, CC Goku is functionally a stand-in for the mainline Goku. His history and powers are the same, making his story just as much of a what-if scenario as the multiple super continuities. The only real difference is Toriyama's not really involved.
This Goku used instant transmission to teleport through time and dimensions. He outsped a god who could see the future. He defeated Dark King Fu, who was gonna rewrite the entire universe. Hell, this series even makes GT cool. Xeno Goku can break space-time just by going Super Saiyan 4.
Looking back at that goofy monkey boy chopping wood and punching dinosaurs, it's almost overwhelming to think about how far Goku has come, how much he's had to face.
But no matter the challenge, he takes it head-on and pushes through.
Showing everyone, everywhere, how to go even further beyond.
Alright, I like that.
Faster
Superman,
than a
though.
speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Geez, just a locomotive? People in the 40s needed bigger imaginations.
Born on the far-off world of Krypton, the infant Kal-El was sent to Earth by his parents, narrowly escaping Krypton's destruction. Raised by farmers as Clark Kent, he eventually became Superman, champion of the oppressed, the man of tomorrow.
If you've only seen the movies, forget him. Comic book Clark's not the perfect Boy Scout, and he's definitely not Jesus. Wait, weren't the guys who made him Jewish?
Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster were sons of Jewish immigrants and grew up in a time when anti-Semitism went largely unchallenged.
And then that ugly mustache showed up.
Understandably seeking escape from some truly terrifying horrors, the pair created Superman to be a simple solution to overwhelming problems.
A hero who could defeat any evil by just punching it. Hell yeah, that's how I live my life.
After almost 9 decades, Superman has been
God,
many
those love
things.
interests.
At the core, his story is one of a refugee, a child who lost his home, left to the mercy of alien people. This new world accepted him, raised him, gave him a new home, because helping others in need is the right thing to do. That's why he became a superhero, the first superhero.
Everything's gotta start somewhere, but he was the first one to
Hey, it's
really
multiverses.
take off. I mean, not literally. It took a while, actually, before he learned how to fly.
In fact, when Clark discovered his Kryptonian heritage, he struggled to accept it and subconsciously developed mental blocks, severing him from his true power, which he would uncover throughout his life.
He's strong enough to shoulder press the weight of the earth for 5 days straight, or crush coal into perfectly cut diamond.
That's not how that works.
He's fast enough to
Who
reach
cares?
the edge of the universe in seconds, or even break the bonds of infinity. Wait, he can do all that, but Batman can punch him out? Really?
You're probably thinking of Elseworld stories outside main canon like Dark Knight Returns. It's a good question though. Superman's powers have fluctuated over time for a variety of reasons. However, for Death Battle, we take the characters at their best.
Yeah,
True.
like how his breath is so powerful he can sneeze away a solar system, or blow air cold enough to freeze ghosts.
Speaking of, his X-ray vision doesn't just see through walls, he can see through your own body and mind to examine your soul.
And yet,
Oh,
he
great.
can't see through lead. That's okay, though. He can just burn through it with his face. Since he gets his power from the yellow sun, his heat vision burns with the fire of a star. And if beams aren't enough, he can blast it out of his whole body for a super flare. It used to
yes.
totally drain him, but he's learned how to control it.
Simply put,
Good
Superman's
for him.
powers defy physics. My favorite examples of this are when he rebuilt the reality warping miracle machine from memory, or punched Brainiac so hard every version of him felt it through all of time, or when he gained 10 years worth of medical training through only 5 minutes of reading and then successfully performed lung surgery.
Nice. My favorite example is when he smelled brownies in North Dakota from orbit.
Even beyond his
Oh,
powers,
great.
Superman is no novice when it comes to the intricacies of battle.
He's trained in Kryptonian martial arts, which uses chi, or as they call it, Shriar. He even got summoned to
Okay.
Asgard to fight demons with Thor for 1,000 years.
Superman can resist being erased from existence, such as tanking Darkseid's Omega Beams. Even Retcon
So
and the
Hakai
Time
is
Traveler,
nothing.
both of which hijack and alter timelines, can't touch him. Not because of his powerful mental defenses or healing factor, but because he's a cosmic linchpin in the greater metaverse.
Timelines literally revolve around him.
But let's address the S-shaped elephant in the room. You may have noticed we've covered a variety of Superman eras. Superman and DC Comics as a whole have gone through multiple retcons.
Golden Age, Silver Age, pre-crisis, post-crisis, New 52, Rebirth, and so on.
It would help to know which one is the main Superman, right? Well, they all are.
Yeah, the latest reboots basically said everything in the main series is kinda canon, even when he had wacky powers like changing his appearance with a super muscular control. Ew. I guess he
That-
can still
yeah.
phase through almost anything, even people.
Look, if you really dig into it, this isn't new. Plenty of characters have recalled events from supposedly retcon timelines before.
Yeah, post-crisis Supes did start as less powerful than in pre-crisis, but that was because of the mental blocks.
Though he's not a complete composite, there's so many other Supermen out there.
Future Superman, Big Robot Superman, Commie Superman, Dinosaur Superman. There's a bunch.
Still, this new canon has affected his abilities. For example, he and other Kryptonians can effortlessly travel through time. And while Superman's
Cool.
powers stem from the Earth's yellow sun, exposure to a blue star increases them even further. In fact, upon visiting a white star, he attained a whole new level of power.
When that old baldy Lex teleported him to another galaxy, Superman just popped back up, saying space-time has lost its meaning for him. He really just said that.
Remember,
Damn.
Superman defies physics.
Like when he used heat vision to restart the universe by making an all-new Big Bang.
We've seen that his universe has a radius of at least 100 trillion light years, but we can calculate a more exact figure. The DC universe is 15 billion years old and expands at 60 trillion light years per half second. This means its radius must be over 50 nonillion light years across.
What? That's 31 zeros, and Soups helped make that happen.
Well, about 1/5 of it. That's still immense power, but if you want something bigger, here's the Anti-Monitor blasting Golden Age Superman with all the energy of the antimatter universe. And then Superman, you know,
punched him so hard it kickstarted another one of those reboots.
Now, Superman
Nice.
does have weaknesses. There's kryptonite, of course, and exposure to red starlight can fade his powers over time.
Not all at once. He has been able to move planets around while under a red star, so...
And everyone knows Superman can't deal with magic, but it's more accurate to say he doesn't have any special resistances to it. He's defeated plenty of magic users before, even Shazam.
Superman challenges the idea that absolute power corrupts absolutely. He's the goodest good guy of them all, but there is nuance to being good, even if he is the ultimate power fantasy, unstoppable and incorruptible.
Such as when he took on the World Forger, one of the most powerful reality shapers in all of creation.
Who was in the 6th dimension, crafting a whole new multiverse to replace the one Clark calls home. Who's gonna stop him?
Superman could, and the Forger knew it. So he was trapped on a world with a sun so distant he could never escape. Or so the Forger thought.
Instead, Clark found the strength he needed to fly at that sun, dip through a ton of stars, KO the World Forger, and shatter his new multiverse with a single punch. Because that's Superman, a simple solution to overwhelming problems.
He's the kind of person to save a cat from a tree, answer Christmas cards from strangers, and tow hundreds of planets to a new galaxy all in the same day. What's not to like?
Truth and justice has no better champion than the Man of Steel.
All right, the combatants are set. We've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
Pause. There's still 10 minutes left of this video. Okay, well, I'm just gonna keep it nice and short. I still think Superman is going to win. Just the DC universe is just like at that size thing for. I mean, they caught me by surprise with Dragon Ball's Universe 7 with the new measurements for it. So that they caught me by surprise with that. But I still think that well, for one, they calculated DCs to be even larger than that. And just like Superman can shatter multiverses with a punch, fly out of the bounds of infinity. He's trained in martial arts. I mean, so is Goku, admittedly, but he's an actual, like, he is a full-on genius. Like, Goku's a genius in combat, sure, but the Superman is a genius both in combat and in everything else, every other way. So it's like, again, I just don't see how Goku is losing this, or Goku is winning this. Sorry, I don't see how Goku is winning this. It just seems to me like Superman has just about everything he needs to pull off a pretty solid win. So with that, I'm still gonna go with Superman. I honestly kind of debated on whether or not, like during the ad, I was kind of debating on whether or not to even pause during this, but I'm just reiterating my thoughts. I think Superman is easily going to win this. I mean, well, easily. There's still 10 minutes left of this video, so we'll see what's up. Well, let's do this. And they are fighting already. Okay. Interesting.
Today's the day. We'll finally settle who's stronger.
If you say so.
So do they like recognize each other from previous episodes or nah? I haven't seen like a preview. Yeah, I saw the trailer, but they didn't have like a sneak peek in particular.
You're holding back. Give it your all. No regrets.
Goku, that's a
just fine.
Goku, that's a dangerous request. Skipping straight to blue. Okay. Whoa. Now they're in space. Ooh. This is a pretty fight, by the way.
Oops. Well, I guess we can wish it back later.
World made of cardboard. All right, I'll show you just how powerful I really am.
What?
Looks like a job, Ford.
Oh, so that's where. So that's where the old voice actors come in. Damn, knocked the blue out of him.
What do you think?
That was awesome. Nice suit.
Oh, thanks. Kryptonian fabric. My mom made it for me.
Yeah. Okay, here comes Ultra Instinct. Alright, Superman. Okay. Oh, there's the Man of Steel reference. Kind of obligatory at this point. Super Flare? Oh. Oh no.
Finally.
Oh god. Okay, that's the Earth destroyed. Oh,
Darn it.
Almost had me there. That was actually pretty fun.
Yeah, it sure was. But I'll be stronger next time.
I look forward to it.
Let's go again.
You're on.
okay, that was precious.
KO!
That's
it. The final indisputable answer. Who am I kidding? People are gonna argue this one forever.
There's so many ways this battle could go, especially with all the other continuities.
Yeah, for real. Goku would kick almost every other Superman's ass, except for the main one.
There's a lot to cover, so let's address the 5 categories most representative of this fight.
First
Okay.
up, strength. Both could hit hard enough to break or make their whole universe, or take it in stride, like when Superman got smacked by the whole antimatter universe.
At most, Dragon Ball's universe is 1,505 times larger than our own. But based on the DC Universe's officially established age and rate of expansion, it is 1.6 vigintillion times larger. over a novemdecillion times more than Goku's.
At some point, you reach a number high enough that it just doesn't mean anything anymore. Anyway,
True.
Goku's obviously gotten stronger since the Beerus fight, even by billions or trillions of times. He's defeated Jiren, Broly, Moro, and Fu.
But even if we highball Goku by quadrillions or quintillions of times, the gap is just too much, especially with the World Forger feat. Not even Heroes competes with that. Superman takes the edge in strength.
But strength isn't everything. Let's talk
True.
speed. Both are obviously way faster than light, but Superman crossed that mega-sized universe of his in seconds and flew faster than infinity.
Makes sense, he can keep up with the Flash, whose speed is so ludicrous it's unquantifiable.
Don't count Goku out, though. Flying across the entire afterlife in base form and outspeeding Eos's future sight takes some crazy speed.
Fighting Zamasu as an omnipresent merged timeline also implies immeasurable speeds.
That, combined with instant transmission and Ultra Instinct, could probably keep up.
Maybe. Quantifiably, Superman is faster, but both are immeasurable. The safest bet here is to say they tie in speed.
Especially when we look at skill. Goku's a martial arts master. He's definitely got better battle instincts. He wants to fight and is dedicated to his training, while Superman sees training as a means to an end.
Superman's knowledge
Fair.
of pressure point combat and Kryptonian martial arts are impressive, but he's only used them a few times. It would be disingenuous to say he's an equivalent master at them.
So Goku wins in skill, but not necessarily in experience.
Don't
Yeah.
get it wrong, Superman is not a mindless brawler. He's trained with Batman and Wonder Woman. He's even defeated martial arts experts like Cobra without powers.
Goku has spent decades training, but Superman battled Norse demons for 1,000 years.
He's also astonishingly brilliant, like when he reassembled the reality warping miracle machine from memory.
Yep.
Experience obviously goes to Superman, but perhaps less obvious is our last category, powers.
Hakai, Spirit Bomb, Mafuba, Instant Transmission, God Key, God Bind. How does Goku not win with those?
In Dragon Ball, Ki is dependent on physical ability, so it's different from Magic. God Ki is simply pure Ki, and Magic isn't an auto win against Superman anyway, whose greater
True.
strength could break out of something like the God Bind.
Mafuba and the Spirit Bomb would take way too long, and Goku's never successfully used Hakai before. Even if he did land it, Superman's impossible to erase from reality. Like, he's tanked Omega Beams, which do the same thing as Hakai.
Superman can time travel, countering Instant Transmission's similar ability from Heroes. And regarding teleporting him to a red star, ignoring the fact that Saiyans can't breathe in space, though Goku's certainly tough enough to withstand a vacuum, Instant Transmission requires another person to act as a beacon. He can't just warp to
Oh
any
god,
red star.
that's a long
Even
list.
if he did, Superman could simply fly away and find a blue or white star for a supercharge.
And Goku could not pull off the same trick twice, as Superman could phase through his attacks.
So, that's it then. Clark has too many counters, so he takes the edge in powers and it's over.
Well, I think there's something else. Goku versus Superman breaches a broader zeitgeist. It's more than just two characters fighting. For a whole generation, especially in 90s America, superheroes represented an unyielding status quo. Spider-Man, Batman, Captain America rarely change who they are or what they believe in. For a lot of people, that's tiring, and Superman is an icon of that. Then along came anime. There was a whole other world of ideas and stories for us sheltered Westerners to experience, and Goku's an icon of that. So while many see this as a debate between characters, others see it as a debate of ideologies and culture. And if that's what's at stake, who wants Goku to lose?
You're sure you're not overthinking this?
It's not our intent, but it does call into question what we're doing. How can people agree with what we take as fact when fiction relies on interpretation? Are we stripping characters of their importance by simplifying them to contestants in a vacuum of violence? And if so, then what's the point?
Because it's fun, Wiz. Damn it, man. There's more than one way to appreciate something. We're having a great time talking about awesome characters and slamming action figures together. And that's okay.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm just saying, no matter who you prefer, that battle was super, man.
That's the worst pun.
What? It fits them both.
It's so lame.
I don't see you doing any better.
I do the math, the pun's your job.
Well, maybe if you math as good as I punned, then Goku would have won.
What is wrong with you?
Anyway, so the winner is Superman.
Hi, I'm Ben, the voice of Wiz. Thank you so much for watching.
That was nice.
But before we do
All right,
that,
what
here's
the
a-
hell is the
remember,
finale?
Click that join button below. See what you're missing.
Here we go. No way. It's Galactus versus Unicorn. What? Yes! Galactus versus Unicron, let's go! Okay, so, gonna be honest, I've seen a lot of people talk about how Galactus versus Unicron is like every time we see a finale, every time we see a season come out, everyone keeps saying like, okay, Galactus versus Unicron is gonna be the season finale, right? And then it never is. People said that about season 5, we got Thanos versus Darkseid. People said about season 7, we got Hulk versus Broly. Season 8, we got Saitama versus Popeye. So like it's always been like kind of a it's almost kind of become like a meme to be like, yeah, so Galactus versus Unicron, right? And now it's finally happening. Oh my god. Okay. Well, I mean, I went over this with Megatron, but I'm kind of a Transformers fan. I have almost my entire collection lined up right behind me. I mean, what kind of loser does that? So hell yeah, 2 Transformers characters in the same season. I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. I'm so excited for that. Number 1 most requested matchup in Death Battle history. That's fun. That's fun. I'm super looking forward to that. And I also am aware that I think they said on was Death Battle Cast, they said that Liam was directing this episode, and I'm just like, okay, here we go. All right, I'm really excited for that. I have to draw Unicron now. Okay, never mind. I take this back. This match sucks. I'm just kidding. All right. So as for this episode, that was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with that. That was one of the more like wholesome. That was one of the most like wholesome matches I think we've gotten in a very, very, very long time. And both Michael Kovac and Xander Mobus do a great job in their roles. I didn't mention that during the fight, but they do really, really good. I enjoyed them quite a bit. The song is really good. And I just love like the idea of Superman like visiting Goku in the afterlife and being like, and both of them being like, let's do this again sometime, you know. I'm sure eventually Superman or someone will wish Goku back with the Dragon Balls, and maybe they'll go again. I mean, we probably won't see it, but in this particular like universe, I guess, maybe they'll go again. I mean, I said this with Goku vs Superman 2, and obviously that didn't hold up. But I do really hope, as good as this was, I do really hope that this is it. You know, I do hope that like, I do hope at least people will be like understanding over over the result. I think the last part in the recap, in the verdict, is probably going to help out a lot. Just kind of being like, you know, regardless of who you prefer, both of them are amazing characters. It's just that we think that Superman is superior in this this way, all that stuff. It kind of goes into like the ideologies, I guess, the mental process that is versus debating, you know. So I like that. I like that inclusion a lot. And just both of them being like, both characters being very respectful towards each other. Like in the other 2 episodes, Superman was kind of like a dick to Goku, and I not exactly a huge fan of that. In this one, Superman was like was super okay with the idea of fighting Goku. I think my only problem with this episode, my only problem is that I wish there was an actual setup, but I understand that this episode is kind of bloated enough as is. So I think I'll let that slide. I just kind of wish I saw how those two like met this time around, you know. But it's no big deal. Again, that's the only problem I can come up with at this very moment. But yeah, that was a super cool episode. That's definitely going to be up there as one of my favorite episodes of the season. But man, with Galactus versus Unicron being next, I have no idea what to expect. All right. With that, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. This video was not as long as I thought it was going to be, but yeah. All right. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed my reaction, as well as the fight itself. I hope you guys are respectful towards the conclusion in both my comments and in the episode's comments and in other people's reactions comments. Let's have some fun here, okay? Let's have some fun with, like, we're putting Goku from Dragon Ball against Superman from DC. Like, it's a silly concept, but god damn it, let's just have some fun with it. I had some fun with it. All right. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get going. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you all in the next video. Bye, everybody.